Everybody, I'm entitling this video or this hangout "Selling to Attorneys," and I want to tell you one of my best attorney stories of selling to an attorney. As you probably can tell by looking at my videos, I deal with some attorneys. I probably deal with more other companies than I actually do with attorneys, but I kind of have a connection with attorneys because I went to law school myself. So I always feel like maybe I've got a connection, but sometimes I don't. So I don't know. Maybe it's not. But anyway, this is my story. Uh, when I first started doing this, I had to generate some clients because I didn't have any. So I started to cold call people. And of course, I started out a long time as a stockbroker, and that's how you built your book in being a broker, was by cold calling people. So I felt like I could do it. So I went ahead and started cold calling people. And one day I got a hold of this attorney. It was late in the evening, and I don't know how I was able to get a hold of this guy, but I did. And he was an older gentleman. And I saw his website, and I saw his website wasn't ranking, or basically was invisible. And I get to talking to him. It just so happened he was the chief principal of the law firm. And when I looked at his resume or his biography, you know, I've never seen anything like it. He was a Yale undergrad, Harvard grad school, or Harvard law school. He was clerk for, I think it was Thurgood Marshall, I'm not sure, but before he got in the Supreme Court. And it may have been one of the other justices, I don't remember. But he clerked for one of the Supreme Court justices before they got on the Supreme Court. He was in the FBI and was special agent, FBI agent in the area that he was from, and as well as having to be the principal partner in his law firm, of a big law firm of maybe 20 or 30 attorneys. And these were not cheap attorneys. I mean, nobody there was worried about how to pay their mortgage. These guys were big. And it was very interesting because I kind of connected with him because he didn't know anything about the internet. I don't even think he had an email account. So he would ask me questions, and he wanted to know answers, but he didn't even know really how enough to even ask a qualified question. He would ask me questions like, well, when I pull up attorneys in my area, are you responsible for that list of attorneys that I see on my screen or on my computer? And I mean, he thought I was actually the search engine and not someone, working on websites and doing the SEO. So I would have these conversations with him, long conversations with him. And at the time, man, I want to build him a website for a pretty reasonable price. But he kept telling me that, he didn't know or he didn't understand, but we just kept talking back and forth, and we talked for a long time. And in fact, he had a receptionist, and he had his own secretary, and the secretary used to, sometimes she'd say, "Who are you?" Because he always takes your call. He goes, he rarely takes calls from anybody, and he doesn't want to deal with problems in the firm. So he was real limited on the people that get to talk to him. And she goes, "He's instructed me always to take your call." And she thought it was really somebody, and it was kind of funny because I wasn't anybody. But anyway, I was talking to this guy, and he'd ask me questions. This went on for a long time. And he said to me, he said, "Look," he goes, "I want to talk it over with the other partners in the firm. We usually have a meeting once every 2 weeks, and we sit down and we discuss these matters about marketing and so on and so forth, and what we should do." And he goes, "I want to talk to the partners about this and make a decision on what we should do with our website, if we want to continue to be invisible online, or if we want to make some movement to being found in the search engines." And so I would call him back, and he said, "Well, we had the meeting, but I had a hard time. Nobody else really thought this was a very good idea." So another week or two would go by, and I'd call him again, and this went on for a while. So finally one day I call him up just to kind of draw some conclusion to this exchange we've been having back and forth. I was real excited because I thought this was going to be a good deal. And he said, "We made a decision to hire a firm, a consulting firm, to decide how we should approach the internet. So we're going to hire a consulting firm, and then that consulting firm is going to consult us on how we should proceed with the internet." And he told me at the time how much they were spending to do this, and it was unbelievable. I can't remember. It was in the many thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I remember at the time I was thinking, to hire a consultant to tell you how you should proceed on the internet is probably one of the more extravagant ways you could do it. So I thought it takes money in order to have that kind of a game plan. So anyway, just a little story. I thought it was kind of funny. Thought I'd share it with everybody because it really is one of my best stories as far as talking to attorneys and doing business with attorneys online. So I appreciate you listening. Thank you.